Oh, hello, and thank you for being here. Today is a very important day for the Charlevoix Post. One sign that it's so important is that I'm wearing a tie, and I never wear a tie. But if you'll allow me, I'd like to be a little less formal as I welcome you to the new Charlevoix Post. Today marks a day of sadness, as well as a day that is happy and that is a new adventure. It's the 3rd anniversary of the Charlevoix Post Canada, number 1. It's going to be the 4th anniversary of the Charlevoix Post period in November. It is also the 40th anniversary of me starting my career in theater. I started acting school in September 40 years ago, and I am burying my life in theater. Now, there have been a lot of questions. The first question is, why are we doing this? Well, that's very simple. Theater, for me, how can I put this? Theater is a whore, you know? I mean, and you have to pay a lot more depending on how good the sensations are. Okay, so sometimes the payment that you have to give is the money to mount a production of your own work or somebody else's work, and the actor's going without salary or what have you. Sometimes it's a playwright writing 30 or 40 different plays, and each one on spec, each one not paid in advance. We don't have a commission system in Canada. Sometimes it's your soul. And as you get older, you know, as I've been doing this for 40 years, you also start to question the quality of the horror you're dealing with. You know, I mean, I started off, and the sensations provided were pretty much a high-class escort, okay? And then after a while, it became, you know, brothel-esque. And then after a little bit after that, it became, you know, street. And then peep show. And then, you know, as I was starting to hit the end of my 50s, it started to feel a bit like, you know, crack whores. So the pleasure was just not there anymore. Let's see, what other questions? Okay, why now? Well, why are we doing it now? Why are we going from theater to opera and dance? Well, because we're ready. We've been covering opera for 2 years, and we have been covering dance for about a year. Now, we have some great writers in both media, and they're ready. And also, it's, you know, it's taken me that long to learn how to pronounce the name of Maestro Topher Mokrzeski. And now that I know how to pronounce it, I feel, well, you know, let's move on. Okay, why dance and opera? Well, because there's a niche. When we started this Charlevoix Post project, we started as the Theater in Montreal, in English Montreal blog, okay? It was a necessary thing. We were losing weekly newspapers every week. The blogosphere hadn't exploded yet. We had one daily newspaper, and we had another weekly newspaper, a couple of weekly newspapers that were execrable. And so there were no critical voices. And so I said, you know, somebody's going to cover everything. And Estelle and I got into this project, and we just went at it, and the niche was filled. And now it's being filled quite well by other bloggers and other websites and other publications. And not just here, because when we expanded to the Charlevoix Post Canada, it was actually being covered quite well. Mooney on Theatre in Toronto, the weeklies in Edmonton, the weeklies the weeklies in Halifax and Vancouver. They were doing a splendid job, so we weren't really needed. That answers that question. What, are you going to become rich? That's hilarious. We have never made a single dime at the Charlottesville Post. Never. We launched a fundraising campaign once, and one of my friends donated 25 bucks, and Estelle and I donated some money, and that's where it ended. We tried merchandise, what have you, and finally realized that, you know, it's volunteer work, and that's pretty much how we have to treat it. We're volunteers, and our writers are volunteers, and we do it because we love it. And when we stop loving it, you know, you'd be an idiot if you continued to do it. And that's why we change things. We're not going to get rich. People think this is really stupid and really shallow, but the one thing you hope for when you do volunteer work, and this is very unchristian to hope for this, is some gratitude, just some gratitude. And we were getting that from opera people and from dance people, but we were getting a hell of a lot of "you idiots" from a lot of too many people. Wait, hang on. Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I just got an email from Estelle Rosen, my beloved national publisher. No, excuse me, editor-in-chief and collaborator since the start, and workhorse. She just sent me an email that tells me that Topher Mokrachevsky, Maestro Topher Mokrachevsky, has just changed the goddamn spelling of his last name. Okay? 2 years I've been learning, trying to learn that last name. Well, there you go. Learning new things. Yes. Adventure. Anyway, send me your emails. Make a comment right here in the comment section. And till next time. And thank you again for helping us celebrate this new adventure. Oh, for Christ's sake, what next? Wonder if Neef is going to change the fucking pronunciation of his name. What about Opera Lyra? Opera Lyra, something